Good morning. I am here at the Pennant in downtown Topeka to talk about our upcoming downtown section that we have going on with a lot of the people who are making things happen in the revitalization. I'm here this morning. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves and tell me just a little bit about what you do. And we're going to talk into 5 to 8 different people I think we have going this morning, and just talk about different sections of what's happening in downtown as well as NODO. And at the very end of this, we are going to get a sneak peek inside the Cyrus Hotel. Our web editor, Eric Smith, is going to take you across the street with one of the architects on the project, Andrew Wyken from Architect One, and they're going to go inside and let us look around a little bit. So it's something most people haven't seen yet. So, all right, you want to talk a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am Alicia Van Walliga. I own Leaping Llamas, located on the 700 block of Kansas Avenue.
Great.
And my name is Michelle Cuevas Stubblefield. I work for DTI and also Executive Director of Leadership Greater Topeka, and I actually live downtown now.
Oh yeah, that's great. Every time I look at one of the lofts, I think that's where I want to be and end up with no yard to take care of.
It's been a fabulous change, yes.
How long have you been down here?
Actually about 4 months now.
Okay,
so
great.
It's a whole new change, and it's a great way to live.
Right. Well, I was going to talk with you two a little bit about retail downtown. It's something, I grew up here in Topeka, so I remember shopping downtown at Macy's and coming down here for most of what we did as a kid to buy. And so is it something, are we going to be a retail center again? Michelle, maybe you can talk a little bit about retail.
The great thing is we're really concentrated on quality of life and quality of place in downtown. So most people don't realize there are really over about 21 shops that you can go into, spend time, discover new things, take classes. So it's really just creating that ambiance of not just go in and buy, but go in and have a relationship with the owner and learn about what they do and all the things that you can experience during your day.
I think sometimes with social media and the fact that we can buy online a little bit more easily, that those personal relationships have become more important. Have you found that true at Leaping Llamas?
Oh yes, building a personal relationship with people that come in the door is vital. It's something that brings them back, and having something that's more unique that you can't really see online as well also helps bring people through the door.
Well, I know I've been to several of your classes, and I discovered that I am really bad at Pasanke egg
You are very good at that.
Oh, very, very bad at it. So are the classes one way that you reach out and kind of become a destination store?
They are. In fact, having the gallery and the classes is vital for a downtown business especially. Both keep our doors open. So we have people through the day that shop, and then in the evening they come and learn Pasanke eggs or any other type of creative activity.
Yeah, I recommend the class. I just did not set high expectations for what was going to happen out of that, so it was rough. So one of the things that I've noticed in your store is there's an awful lot of local artists featured. And so tell me a little bit about how that draws people in and how that helps you in the community.
Well, I've always been a big believer that art showcases the culture of an area. And so we really strive to have a wide variety of different artists, all Kansas-based. And then we go as far west as Garden City and as far east as Kansas City. It's been incredible to see what those artists build. But we actually go out and meet the artists in those different locations. So over Memorial Day, I was in western Kansas talking with several artists and about their work and how they create in their process, and brought it home with me to showcase.
That's amazing. So it becomes almost like a gallery of some sorts, and a lot of what you do. So when we talk about downtown, I hear from a lot of people, oh, or
we obviously don't want to be like other communities. We want to serve those things that really bring people downtown. I think people are talking about some type of anchor that will hold out. Now, whether that is the plaza or if that is another entity that comes in, I think it really remains to be seen. The cool thing is people are thinking about it, and they're thinking about how to create an active and vibrant downtown, because they're seeing things happen, they're seeing the change take place, and it's really exciting. So everybody wants to be a part of it and see more people down here and living life downtown.
I know that I've asked a lot of the investors downtown, is there like some magic percentage, this percent retail, this percent dining, this percent evening entertainment, and they all say absolutely not. I mean, or we could just set it up and go with that. But do you think that, what do you think is critical to build in our next stages of downtown?
Oh, I think we have to think about it all all at the same time. To me, it's kind of one of those ebb and flow things. You want residents, you want retail, you want food, you want entertainment. They all kind of need to circulate and percolate all at the same time. So it's always exciting when another one is getting ready to pop up. We know that the Iron Rail is coming. We know that Brewbank is on its way. We know that we're going to have Circle of Hope and another gallery. So there's going to be art down here, more art down here. There's classes, chocolate, popcorn, glass. Just there's so much going on, and you can spend a whole day down here just discovering new things.
How do you change a community's perception? Because I think that's some of the challenge, is just the way that we think about things. And either one of you can, I know that's something that you're challenged to do as well, can talk about that a little bit.
Hit on that one first.
You know, I think getting people to come down here, I get over and over that people are always surprised that there's so much to do downtown. And what honestly drew me downtown is when I came here, it felt like such a community. The retailers are all very close and we work together, and I feel when you shop and go to the different stores, you feel that. And so once they're down here, I think they're hooked. So I think our challenge is just bringing them in during those prime hours.
And it really is changing that perception, because really downtown is safe. I live downtown. I see it at night. Nothing happens as far as, you know, the concerns that people have. We are a small community, so if something happens clear in South Topeka or other areas, it still feels like it happened in your own neighborhood. So we want people to remember that, and they can come down, they can visit retailers, they can walk along the avenue and just enjoy themselves. And plus, we have a community and the police department that is, and with the Momentum 2022, that has really taken all of that to heart. And you're going to see a lot more presence because of that concern.
We are getting ready to work on the Momentum 2022 section that comes out, and I was looking at all of the work groups that support that, and there are 2 police officers on every single work group, which I thought was really impressive that they made that kind of showing to be involved in every aspect of it. So, yeah, I know that building residential has been a big element of what we do, just to get more people down here all the time. Are we seeing that happen?
Yes, with Wilson on First and Kansas, and then some other ones that are currently in play, you're going to see a lot more residential growth. And the cool thing is, I can even say in the last, probably 2 years ago, it was more older demographics that were asking about lofts. I have had way more younger couples coming in and asking about lofts. So that shift is changing. People are realizing that we are a walkable community. You can come down and do what you need to and live your life downtown in a great space.
Right. Oh, that's what's so fun about going in some of those lofts, is they are just really amazing spaces, and that warehouse or industrial feel. Mike Wilson gave me a tour of 101 North Kansas, which is the project that Michelle was talking about, and what they're going to do there. And oh my gosh, that space is going to be so cool.
And to be able to take those spaces that you've grown up with and seen but never been inside, but you know they have wonderful bones and architecture, and to bring those things to life, it's exciting.
Yeah, it really makes for a unique experience when you live down here. So
exactly.
Anything else that you would like to add? I think we're going to switch over to our next guest. So anything really exciting, and appreciate you taking the time to come in and talk with us. And as a reminder, the downtown section is going to be out in this Sunday's paper, so you guys are all featured, I know, several times in it. So thank
we
you
invite
very much
everybody
for your
to come
time.
downtown and experience some great retailers and get to know people like Alice.
Oh, yes.
We'll have a fantastic time downtown.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And while my next guests come in, I'll talk just a little bit about our section, if you guys want to head on out and talk just a little bit about the section that we have coming out in Sunday's paper. I always make the joke that the first year we did the downtown section, we thought it was going to be 12 pages, and it ended up 44. This year it is 56 pages, so it's a pretty amazing section, highlighting different parts of downtown and Noto as well. I do think that Noto is an important part of downtown, and that's actually what we're here to talk about today. If you could just introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about what you do.
Sure. My name is Brian Falk. I'm an architect at Falk Architects.
Okay, great.
And I'm John Bolender. My wife and I own the Wheelbarrow in Noto.
Right. And the Wheelbarrow has been one of those, everyone talks about the Cyrus Hotel, I think, as kind of a linchpin for what's happening downtown, that it was the thing that once we had that investment happening. And the Wheelbarrow and Norseman and Noto Burrito, those places all together, I think, were really something that changed the face of what was happening in Noto. So it's great to see you guys down there. So Brian, why don't you talk just a little bit? You're working on Redbud Park, is that right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what Redbud Park is?
Sure, yeah. It's on the corner of Gordon and North Topeka Boulevard. And it's right across from the Arts Center. And basically we're taking an old parking lot and existing metal building and converting it into a sculpture park.
Yeah.
So we're tearing out the concrete, we're putting in new plantings, we're planning for new arch, and we're converting the metal building into kind of an event venue.
Oh, that's great. So I know I looked at some of the renderings before we came down here, and one of the things that struck me was it's a little bit like a downtown plaza for Noto, that offering of an event community space. Why is that important in a community?
Well, John, you want to handle that?
Yeah.
Yeah, John's actually on the committee as well.
As part of the board. Just more activities always better. Bringing people down, just free events and all that.
Yeah.
We're kind of seeing like on a first Friday, the streets are already packed, but if we could add that layer of music and kind of a place to hang out, and actually bathrooms or something that's really needed.
Oh, that's
so
true.
we're adding
I didn't think about
bathrooms,
that. Yeah.
And so adding that and sculpture and just a cool place to hang out
Yeah.
at the corner there, we think is something that will draw even more people down to Noto.
Absolutely. And I know that events have been really important as part of downtown, and I would imagine for Noto as well. And now Jennifer your wife has done some of the murals around there, right?
Yeah, she started on her second one.
And I think-
Finished the Welcome to Topeka one a couple weeks ago. Started another one on the side of Colorado Rustics. Right now she's planning a total of 5. She's
Jennifer
ambitious.
doesn't do things by half.
No.
And this is one of the ones that we've got down there. What I think is fun about these kinds of things is people stop and take pictures.
It's constant.
I mean, it's just really cool. It's such a great way to advertise what you all are doing in Noto.
Yes.
So, what are some of the challenges of creating and designing an event space that will work for just multiple entities and over time?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, big thing is budget for us. Yeah. So this is
always
really
it.
kind of a grassroots effort that we're doing. A lot of people are volunteering their efforts. We've got the Redbud Foundation that's offered a matching grant, and so we have to find that other half of the match. That's huge to just bring it all together. But because of Noto and what Noto is, it's kind of like reclaimed and reused and adaptive reuse. What we really are working with is it's kind of the idea of adaptive reuse in the park. So we're using this existing metal building that's really old and in pretty bad shape, but we're cleaning it up and doing some cool things with it. But there's this concrete ramp that was part of the parking lot that we're using as a feature to basically put art on top of. And right now, like for instance, people go up to the top of the ramp and they take pictures of the mural that Jennifer created.
Because you get the background of the
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper
And so
or
it's-
the Topeka mural.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of a cool place to just get up. We would imagine kids during a concert might get up there, and then we're going to kind of berm the ground around this ramp, and so they might play on the berm, similar to that park in downtown Topeka where there's,
Oh, yeah.
except for it'll be actually probably real grass here rather than
Right.
artificial turf.
Right. What a lot of fun to take on those challenges. Is it different too, durability in terms of being outside? I mean, when you're designing, how do you think about in terms of making it last? And
Yeah, actually, we are thinking really carefully about that. Again, budget, we want it to be low maintenance because we don't want to incur a lot of costs. So we're not going crazy with the amount of plants that we have. We're thinking about durable materials, long-lasting materials that don't have to be painted, they don't have to be maintained as much as if we made different decisions.
if people wanted to financially support Redbud Park and help out in that way, how would they do that?
Contact Tom Underwood as part of the Noto District. He's our new executive director and is doing great things. Website's soon to be up and
Oh, great.
to be able to do all that.
Okay. Yeah, let us know when that happens. We'll make sure we get the word out about the website as well.
And
So-
it's not just financial stuff. It's if you have a talent, like if you're a skilled trade of some sort and want to donate some services, we're also looking for those kind of things. So it's not just dollars. Sometimes there's artists that could be giving something, or there's craftsmen or
skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I know John has some of those talents, so I assume he won't just be serving on the board. Put him to work.
They're good at roping you into stuff.
Yeah, that's not hard to say no, isn't it? Well, especially for something like that really is going to
Oh, it's
benefit the
great.
2 businesses that you have down in Noto. You know, as a business person, I know there's been a lot of talk in Noto when I talk to retailers down there or restaurateurs about how tough it is sometimes during the week to keep people coming down there. How do you take on that challenge when there's not a First Friday that week?
I will say when I first started work on the building, be a ghost town during the week. It's gotten better. Norseman has really helped as well. More events, more variety. We try to do music. We try to do all sorts of things to pull people in.
Right. Makes that critical kind of leap to get people down there. So what do you think is next? I mean, is Redbud the next big thing for Nodo, or what else is going on that you think is important?
Redbud will be huge. I know there's one more business coming down soon.
Okay.
Other things happening.
Right.
We're
We've got
putting
the Riverfront Park as well. I assume that would have a big impact if that moves forward at some point. So
Yeah, that would be between the Great Overland Station and the river will be the Oregon Trail Park.
Yes.
And that would be huge. That would be huge. And I know they want to develop both sides of the riverfront to tie in downtown to Nodo, make it one big district.
The Art Center is actually doing some stuff too. We're putting in a new courtyard south of the Art Center.
Oh,
and
okay.
We're doing some renovations to the Art Center. So there's a lot of stuff happening just at that corner as well.
Yeah.
And actually, we're working really hard to get the permission from the silo owner to put up some Nodo signage and lighting on the silos. And
that would be
really
fun.
the only hurdle there is we just need to get the permission of ag partners at this point. So that's another thing. If somebody knows ag partners and can convince them that that's a great idea for Topeka, that would be really awesome. And basically, we can make it happen if we can get permission of ag partners.
Right. Oh, that would be really cool because they are very prominent in the skyline around Nodo.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still talk to people who say, oh, I haven't been down to Nodo yet because it's just one of my favorite places in town. And so, the marketing efforts I know are pretty big. How do you do that when you have a lot of small businesses? I know small business owners tend to be doing 45 things an hour and have a hard time sometime reaching out and doing that marketing part.
One of the things, there's a new TV commercial out. Tom did the voiceover. That helps. We try to work together, full time and money and all that to do that. Nowadays, a lot of it's social media.
Yes.
Which is not as expensive. But
no, it's not, and that can be hard. But I know also for a lot of small business owners, it's hard to add on that one more task to do social media. But so, do the businesses collaborate quite a bit together?
Yes, we can. The latest TV commercial, a lot of print stuff we do together.
That's great. Well, it's really exciting to see what's happening in Nodo, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to come in and talk with me today. And so keep me up to date as things happen. That new business I'm going to be tapping into and seeing who that is.
Yeah.
I live by rumors and what's coming next so that I can do my job. But thanks so much.
Thanks,
It's nice to
Morgan.
meet you, Brian. I think we've talked by phone and never in person. For those just joining us, please remember that if you stick around at the end of me talking with some visitors, hi, how are you? We are going to take a sneak peek inside the Cyrus Hotel across the street. Our web editor, Eric Smith, is going to walk across the street and take a live look inside there with Andrew Wyken, who is one of the architects at Architect One, who's been working on the project. So I'm really excited about getting to see inside there. Though they keep telling me, we are not going to tell you. There's a lot of things we're keeping secret. So I'm like, wait, no, I always want to know. So thank you for coming today. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, introduce yourselves and what you do.
Okay, I'm Rosa Cavazos, and I am the Director of Events for the Greater Topeka Partnership. So I oversee about 310 events.
Wow.
Festivals and anything that happens downtown with our festivals or things that we put on, plus all the corporate events as well through the partnership.
That's a lot of work because we have a lot of events going on these days.
We try.
We really do.
Definitely.
So, yes. And Ashley?
Yep, I'm Ashley Nadeau. I am the Marketing and Development Director at Topeka Performing Arts Center. And so I'm responsible for fundraising all of our money to keep TPAC open each year and to bring the best events in and to support youth education out and community outreach that we do. And then also marketing all of our shows. So
yeah, that's
a
also
job.
a lot of work. You guys both keep really busy. So, and I know you have a lot of contact with us at the newspaper as we're always trying to keep up on those events. As downtown revitalization, and I started to say started, it's been going on for years, and we've really been working to bring downtown back, as have most communities across the country. Downtown areas just failed for a while, and as we've got to be really mall oriented. Events, that was all I heard, was we've got to have more events, we've got to have more events. So talk to me just a little bit about how important events are in a community.
They're really important, especially just to have community pride. Visit Topeka started organizing events about 4 years ago, and it took, we did the Food Truck Festival, we did the Kansas Burlesque Festival, we did the Wedding Expo, and then we attached ourselves with Downtown Topeka Inc. to do the music showcases that we've done. So this year we've added, country and jazz or not jazz, but country and rock, and then we've kept on with jazz. And so those are just really great events to show people that there are things to do in our community, to have some community pride, to invite friends to come to our city and to be a part of what's happening downtown. And you can't ask for a better backdrop than the Capitol. I mean, it's something that is amazing to see, and when you have a rock band in front of there, it just makes for great pictures, but it just really brings everyone together, and that's really important for us.
Yeah. And I think at TPAC, what we're really wanting to do is, get people to come downtown for big events like Tim Allen that we have going on sale today. But then also, maybe after the show, they can come to the Pennant and just get people to get more engaged with downtown because they're there for the event, and then they can come, patronize some of the businesses that we have down there. Yeah.
Absolutely. It definitely seems to be a symbiotic relationship as the businesses each grow and reach out. Is it challenging to keep adding events? I mean, are you adding people? How do we make this continue to happen in the community?
We've definitely grown events. I mean, for Visit Topeka, we were not an event-centered, company at all. And so then as time has gone on, we've really added the events and just things that we've dreamed up. And, who doesn't like chocolate? So we might as well have the chocolate festival here.
I got to judge that, and I must say, it was a day I really loved my job.
Yes. So, trying to grow the events is something that we really want to do, changing them up a little bit, maybe changing the focus on an event to get more people to come down and be a part of those events. It's important for us to have those, smaller, intimate events that we really like to do, but it's still great for us to have those, 18, 25,000 people coming to downtown and shopping at, the downtown shops and visiting the restaurants. And, we do all of our events at different times throughout the day. So Touch a Truck is, more in the morning, and people can come down to Julie's and have breakfast and go to Classic Bean. But then Tap That is in the evening, where people could go and grab dinner at the Pennant and then go and enjoy almost 300 beers. So, it really helps us to kind of spread the festivals at different times during the day so that people can kind of see what is really going on downtown and what's going to, get them interested.
Right.
And I think that we kind of got away at TPAC from doing a season, so that way we could kind of keep things in flux and adapt to things that were going on. Like we had this Kyla Jade event because she was a finalist on The Voice, and then we were able to get in touch with her and then just kind of throw the whole thing together, and it ended up being an awesome event that got people who weren't really familiar maybe with TPAC or with downtown as much just to come in and experience it. And so I think that's one strategy that we're doing, is just trying to see what the needs are as they happen, and then adapt to them and get people downtown. So
talk a little bit about TPAC and some of the events that you have coming up.
Sure. Well, we do have today on sale. Tim Allen is coming, and his show isn't until February 22nd. But we had a pre-sale 2 days ago, and tickets are just flying off the shelf. And so I was just blown away by the response so far that we've gotten. So that's happening next year. But this summer we're having Say What, Say Whiz, which is going to be it's an adaptation of The Wiz, which is urban reimagining of The Wizard of Oz, and so that's going to be really exciting. Chris Schultz with Talk About Topeka is doing a Talk About Topeka live event in our Black Box Theater, which I think a lot of people don't know that we have down there, because we have a Black Box Theater and we have a dance studio and all kinds of things at TPAC besides the main auditorium. And then our big fundraiser is coming up on August 3rd, which is Grape Escape. And typically that's been, a wine tasting and like live auction, silent auction event. But this year we're really wanting to reach out to expand our audience to, more of everyday people can come and enjoy it. And so, and just broaden it out so all ages can enjoy it too. So we're having bourbon and a craft beer festival there too.
That
and
sounds
so,
like fun.
so it'll be more than just, wine tasting, which we'll still have tons of wine. So,
Yeah.
and then we're also having, you can, for a $35 ticket, you can come and just enjoy all the food, because we'll have we call it Tastes of Topeka, and they can come have all the hors d'oeuvres and food from all different places around Topeka, and so that's going to be really awesome. So we have a lot going on this summer.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and it sounds like, as I talk with everyone, the collaborations, I mean, like pulling in those local Topeka restaurateurs, pulling in some of the wineries, the breweries around here.
Yeah.
How critical is that to what you do?
Well, I think it definitely is, especially because we are a nonprofit, and so in order to stay open, we need support from the public through fundraising, and people come into our fundraising events. And so I think that establishing relationships with, local people like breweries like Blind Tiger and Norseman and Happy Basset and things like that, that people will, who are fans of that will then come to
Right.
support that, and we can all just support each other. I want to go to local businesses here and promote them, and then they can promote us, and so we can all just kind of get involved with the community that way.
And I know a lot of your events promote area businesses as well.
Definitely. And we think that's really important. I mean, if we can all collaborate, we all win in the end. Special chocolate, and they can talk about the chocolate, and then Cashmere can do a chocolate popcorn, and Leaping Llamas can do chocolate art. It's just all pulling, it's all pulling us together and being able to see what's going on. And the Pennant could do a chocolate martini. So it's so important for us to be able to bounce off of each other in order to make the community grow and let everybody see that we
For those just joining us, I'm going to send out another reminder. I keep saying this, but we are going to get a sneak peek inside the Cyrus Hotel across the street. At the end of this, Eric Smith is going to take you over there, and not a lot of people, it's pretty much the people who work there and the architects who've been inside there, so for us this is going to be really cool to get that opportunity. So hi, thanks for joining me. I appreciate your time. Would you guys each introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about what you do?
I'm Kurt Young, the Executive Director of the Topeka Lodging Association.
Yeah.
I'm Carl Fundenberger, and I'm the Director of Topeka Metro Bikes.
All right. Well, and we are going to talk just a little bit about downtown. And Kurt, I know we've talked a lot about this. And I actually was something I didn't understand about hotels and motels and event planning and trying to get conferences in, how important a downtown plaza is. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Thank you, Morgan. It's very important, and the relationship between our industry and the plaza, there's a lot of synergy there, but it's been recognized that plazas really contribute to the ability for us as an industry to draw conventions in. When the salespeople at Visit Topeka or the sales staff at hotels are talking to that meeting planner that's planning a regional convention or a statewide convention, one of the most often asked questions in that conversation is, what do you have for our convention attendees to do in your city after we're done with our meetings, in the afternoon or the evening? So it's real imperative for us to be involved in this discussion and development about downtown Topeka, because it gives us one more arrow in our quiver, as I've said so many times, to help traffic to Topeka. But it's bigger than just convention traffic. We want to really turn Topeka into a destination. And when those travelers and tourists come to Topeka and they spend one night here, we want them to spend 2 nights or 3 nights. And you only accomplish that by having something really to do. And downtown has progressed so far with what has been as you're well aware, a couple of years ago we were able to get $3.435 million of transient guest tax committee to transient guest tax dollars committed to the plaza. And then last year we were successful in creating a tourism business improvement district, which assesses a $1 charge on every hotel room that's sold. And that money will go towards the, not only initially to the design of the plaza, but also towards the operation of the plaza once it's officially open. So yes, the lodging industry is very committed to this, and you know, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And that was one question I had asked. I think I talked with Vince Fry this week about how you keep it programmed. I understand for it to be successful, it has to have programming at least 250 days a year or something like that.
A minimum of 250 days. We'd like to see more than that. I know we've talked, and the number that we throw around in a lot of our discussions is 250 to 300 days a year of programming and events, and that's really not going to be hard to accomplish.
Well, I know I've got a daughter who's really excited about some ice skating that I think might happen there, so yeah, she's just waiting on that. So great. Well, Carl, talk to me just a little bit. I know, you know, I always think about you, and I always think about our walkability concepts. As I started covering downtown revitalization, they talked a lot about how younger people in particular want walkability in a community. What does that mean to you, walkability?
Sure. Well, that means, you know, can my family go out for a nighttime stroll, and can we safely and comfortably get to the ice cream shop? You know, on the weekend, could I maybe walk to lunch, or even walk to the grocery store or convenience store? You know, if I don't have to get in the car, load everything up, and then go hunt for a parking space.
Right.
You know, life is a little simpler if you don't have to fight to get to where you're going.
Yeah. Now, I do think walkability, even though that obviously walking in there kind of head you in a certain direction, I think it's also, though, about cycling and all of the other ways that we can use transportation to get around a community easily. So talk a little bit about, I know you're a big cyclist, talk a little bit about that world and how it impacts Topeka.
Absolutely. It's really, you know, in Topeka, with the size of our city, it's amazing how much choice you really have in getting around. You know, in a lot of parts of the city, it's easy to walk to where you're needing to go, downtown especially.
Yeah.
You know, if it's maybe a little further, biking, you know, riding a bike is 3 times faster than walking.
Oh, yeah.
And on some of these 95-degree days, I'd rather be on 2 wheels than hoofing it.
Oh, yeah. I might rather be in the air conditioning on those days,
well,
but I'm getting old.
And if you're looking for air conditioning, you know, then we have the Metro bus.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's always air conditioned. You don't even have to wait for it to start, because as soon as you board, it's good.
Right. That's great. That's great. Well, I know, I mean, I see a lot more cyclists here. What's important to the cycling community that happened in Topeka? I mean, do we need more innovation? Do we need more of anything?
What we really need is connectivity, and that's what the city is working on with the Complete Streets Advisory Council. And that group advises the city on the bikeways master plan, the pedestrian master plan, also has some project review on construction projects and those types of things. Just making little adjustments to make it easier for all the different types of groups to make those different transportation choices. And so it's really about making those connections where they maybe used to exist or maybe never existed. You know, South Topeka Boulevard is one example. South of 29th Street, there are no sidewalks.
Oh,
you know.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and there's so many businesses and residents on each side of the street. And so that's one area that's in the pedestrian master plan a few years down the road, where it becomes obvious when we start to do this kind of local inventory of the resources we do have for walking or biking, where we can say, well, here's a natural connection that we can plan on.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you all are adding more bikes to our inventory, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So by the end of June, we'll be up to 300 total bikes for Topeka Metro Bikes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're so excited. For a city our size, with our population, we'll have one of the biggest bike share networks.
That's great.
In size as well as area. So.
That's impressive. It really is. And you see a lot more use. Are they well utilized?
They are used really well. We have been consistently blown away about how many people ride. So just this spring, we cleared more than 5,000 people who've signed up for Topeka Metro Bikes since we started. So we had no idea it would look like this in Topeka. We started with 100 and we thought, well, we'll see where this goes. But so we're thrilled to be at 300.
Well, and I think, a lot of what we do is we've talked about downtown. I talk to different groups and they talk about changing the way we think about things. And, we're all Midwesterners. We're used to things being far apart, so we're used to our cars. I mean, I live right on the edge of Shawnee County, and so I drive in every day, and it's quite a ways. So to retrain how we think, I think, has been really critical to downtown's growth. So being able, most people want to pull up in front of the business they're going to and go right in the front door. And that's one of the things I think we're seeing down here, is that they need to be a little more accepting of walking a few blocks. And that certainly comes into play with the bikes and that walkability concept. So anything that you guys are really excited about in terms of movement forward? And I know, for hotels, you guys, we've added the Evel Knievel Museum. We've done, Topeka is really moving forward on a lot of things.
We just had a lodging association meeting Wednesday of this week, and it was really exciting to see the enthusiasm amongst the members of our industry, the excitement, what this is going to mean, not only to just our industry, but to the community as a whole. The timetable for this has been progressing very well. We're in the midst of some discussions with the city right now on because it is a collaborative effort between the city and the Downtown Topeka Foundation. We're still anticipating beginning construction in early 2019. We set a target date to have it open by March of 2020, and that's significant because that's the first year the Kansas Kids Wrestling, or actually the second year that the Kansas Kids Wrestling event will take place. So we want to try and have it open for that event. So yes, there's a lot of excitement and a lot of enthusiasm. Fundraising's going well, so we're excited.
That's great. Well, I appreciate you two both taking the time to share with me today, and we are going to make that transition over and get our camera inside Cyrus Hotel. We might jounce around a little bit here as we make this transition. We are going to walk across the street. I am not, actually. I keep saying we. But Andrew Wyken here, I don't know. I was saying get him on camera just a little bit.
Andrew Wyken.
Wyken.
No
I'm sorry.
No worries.
I bet that happens a lot. You have been working with the Cyrus Hotel, and so you're going to let us get a little sneak peek inside. I know there's a lot you guys are still keeping secret until the opening, but
a few little hidden gems. So.
Tell me a little bit about what we can expect here as we go across the street.
Well, what you'll see as we walk across the street, you'll start to see the first floor actually really starting to take shape. They've started framing the outside walls on the first floor last Friday. They're making quick progress. They've already started framing a majority of the interior walls. And as you'll be able to see as we cross the street, they got about 90% of the exterior rain screen system on, and they're about 80% done with the storefront and the glazing systems that are in the units. In about another month and a half, you'll actually start to see the brickwork taking shape on the first floor as well. And the storefront systems being installed there as well.
That's great. We're losing that teal color.
That's
been a real standout on the skyline for a while.
Losing that St. Patty's Day green, that's for sure.
Exactly.
But making quick progress. We're on target for our December 1st opening date.
Great.
And it's moving quick. It's moving really quick.
It's exciting. Well, appreciate you giving us the tour. And Eric Smith, I'm going to hand off to Eric. Thanks everyone for joining me today as I talked with some of the folks involved with downtown. Look for our downtown section coming out Sunday, and we'll have a lot of content online as well, some digital, and we have a really cool drone video of the downtown and Noto. So looking forward to seeing that go online. And thanks so much for your time, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Take care. Have fun.
All right, and we're just going to transition from the Pennant to across the street to the Cyrus Hotel. and Andrew's leading the way here. So Andrew, tell me a little bit about some of the things that people can look forward to with the Cyrus Hotel.
So the hotel itself is just under 83,000 square foot. We have 109 hotel units. There's a great mix. We have roughly about 33 units that are king suites or double queen suites, more family-oriented style setups. The rest are made up of smaller king suite units. We do have one large, what it's technically, we call it Suite 301, which is more of a presidential style suite that is for kind of like a long-term stay. But as you can see right now, we do have one historical facade that is left remaining standing. We do have the portion that's 75 foot wide that is closest to us that has the green on it right now. Those are two storefronts that we are rebuilding to make look kind of like the historical that was there, but not exactly identical. Everything on the left-hand side, we have the second and third floor are hotel units. The first floor is where you'll find all of our event space. On the far right, that 75 foot is the check-in and the restaurant, with the restaurant being at the far south end. We'll just take a quick run across the street. All right, so as you can see right here, this is the building currently we refer to as 912. You'll see some structural framing here. When we took out the brick infill that was here in the CMU block infill, there was no real lateral load that was being carried, so we ended up restructuring this to actually work with any racking that would happen during high winds or anything. But as you're looking into this space, this is all going to get new glass storefront. The first bay of space is what we are referring to as Studio A and B. These are small meeting areas. Each one will hold about 46 people at tables. If you did standing, you're roughly going to be around 260. If you occupy the whole thing, you have about 96 people in here at tables and chairs. Back a little bit further, we have all of the larger event space. And this is all partitioned off with pre-event stuff, but as you look back towards the back, it's got a lot of construction material in it right now. This is what we call Event A, or Ballroom A and Ballroom B. They can be combined into one space by just removing one partition. The overall total, we're shooting for right around 248 people and seats. If you wanted to have just seating itself, we're somewhere around the 540 mark. And if we did, if you wanted to have like a band and just have a concert and everybody standing, you could get roughly a little over 700. And here standing, where we are actually standing right now is pre-event space. The pre-event is made to function as kind of like happy hour, cocktail hour before people dive into everything. And that is this space here. And as you can see, the pre-event also aligns with everything through the hotel. So as you're looking out through this existing opening we have, you'll see the corridor. It takes you directly through to the elevator bank. It takes you to the lobby, connects you back to the restaurant, the bar, and it also connects you to the outside dining area of the restaurant. So we'll venture that way real quick. All right. So as we're standing here in the main entry concourse for the event space, we also actually do have an outdoor area for another pre-function spot itself. We were lucky enough that as we demoed out the buildings in between, the limestone was actually still in really great shape. There's some odd brick infill that we also maintained, did some cleanup and some tuck pointing. Turned out really great. We're going to maintain this for the majority of this whole side of the building on the interior. There are a few parts that we are going to fur out and put some gyp finish on. But right now you're standing in another pre-event space, just in case it's the main one between the ballrooms gets full. This is kind of an overflow. What you're seeing here framed is a colonnade to kind of separate out a little bit of the pre-function space and conference rooms. We have an additional conference room back there that'll seat about 38 to 42 people. So if anybody's looking for a boardroom meeting space, there's another option. We try to segment it up as possible and break it down to small functionalities or a grand big function. Let's venture, watch your step over this. All right. So as we're venturing more towards the south and heading into the hotel itself, the main lobby area, you'll find where we're standing at right now is actually the check-in area. The desk itself will be right here where you see the conduit popping up out of the ground. Our main entry is right in this column bay right here. Our valet will actually pull up right out at the front. The way we have it set up, it'll actually pull off of Kansas Avenue to get out of the traffic way. We have a small landscaping buffer between the valet and the avenue itself, and then we still maintain 14 foot of pedestrian walk, so that way we're not cutting across any pedestrian traffic, anything like that. And it gives you a direct drop off for the hotel stay and also for the any function or event you might be going to. Now here on the south portion, what you're looking at right here is the bar itself. We have a big oval shaped bar. We have a early afternoon, early evening cocktail kind of setup with some nice plush seating, couches and chairs. When you come to the south side or the east side of it, we have more of a early evening bar setup, tables, chairs, etc., more for eating and drinking. And right now, the way this is all set up, it's seating for roughly about 70 patrons. Now, as we venture around, we kind of create a colonnade throughout the space. For one, to break up the space and kind of reduce it so it doesn't seem too large to where if you have a few patrons, it seems like it's empty. We wanted to kind of divide it up and give it so you're always kind of wondering what's next. As you come through this part of the colonnade, this is actually our main dining area of the restaurant itself. As we come back through here, you'll see another colonnade. We have an area set up for a private dining as well that'll house you can have up to about 38 people in it. And as I was mentioned before, on that access coming outside, all these openings you see will have storefront assemblies in them and have access to a outdoor dining patio. Total occupancy interior-wise, we're around 138 people interior with an additional 70 outside. We're setting right around 200 total occupancy for the restaurant itself. And as you look to the east, you'll actually see a window that looks into the kitchen. We do have a extremely large kitchen here to accommodate for not only room service and events in the restaurant, but we've accommodated so it can produce all of it in a synchronized time without any delay. The kitchen itself is roughly right at 3,000 square foot. It's got anything and everything imaginable to cook anything except for a pizza oven, like a firewood. But it's a lot of things crammed into there to make it work. So we'll venture up to the third floor and give you guys a sneak peek at what we call Suite 301, which is our presidential style suite. So as you'll notice, as we're walking through here, everything is concrete and steel. One of the things about the hotel was when we got over 75 foot in height, we actually became classified as a high-rise building, which changed part of our building code and how we normally design things. With that high-rise set of code, we can't have any combustible materials in the building unless they're fire treated, and there's only certain increments of what you can have. So as you're walking around, everything is 2-hour rated. Our wall assemblies for our egress stairwells, our elevator shafts are 2-hour rated. Our floor assemblies are all 2-hour concrete precast panels. And as you can see, they just poured a concrete topping just yesterday for us. So it has a nice cleaner look than it did yesterday. But this is Suite 301. This is our presidential style suite. It's roughly 1,200 square foot, has a small powder room up front. When you're walking in, you walk directly into the living area. So we'll have entertainment, a big L-shaped couch, some side chairs and everything else. We have an area for a desk that's being custom made for the hotel. Venture south, we end up in our dining area, and then we also have in this a full kitchen. We've also we set up our design for this also. If you're having an event and you're having, let's say you have 50 friends here or colleagues, and you want the hotel to cover in the back for all the prep work of that, so you can have a direct link of people running back and forth with the food and not have to interrupt what you're doing in here by cooking or anything. To the north, we do have our sleeping unit in here. This is just a paver system that's raised by pedestals. So when you walk out those doors, you'll have maybe about a 3/4 inch difference in your step down. And when you're out here, though, that puts that right at code height for looking out over the avenue for parades. Now, if you guys recall, the old facade actually did have this stair step, and then more of the serpentine kind of top for the cap. Well, when we were redoing it, we decided to keep it with the idea that, you still want a little bit of privacy out here now that you're going to be lower and there's other buildings around, so it'll provide some privacy, but at the same time, you can have guests out here. This patio itself is right around 1,000 square foot, and you can easily get 70 plus people out here, have a good event. We do have it partitioned off from the rest of the roof. If by chance you decide you want something a little bigger, the partition we have is actually able to open up and provide a little bit more flex space, so you can almost double the amount of people you can have out here on it. As you can see looking up, the west side of the building is getting pretty close to being done with the panelized system. The storefronts are going in on the northwest corner. Should be wrapped up here in the next 2 weeks on those. The roof system in here is starting in 2 weeks, so this will actually be able, in about a month, be able to function as what we intend it to for having people out here and walking on it. But is there any questions you have for me?
And you guys are looking at later this year for possible opening?
Yes, December 1st.
Okay, great.
December 1st.
Well, we really appreciate you showing us around, Andrew. Again, my name is Eric Smith. Thank you guys for tuning in to this Facebook Live. Be sure to check out our special section in Sunday's Capital Journal. There'll be a 56-page section with basically an update on everything downtown and in Noto. And we'll have several digital components online, including a really cool drone video and a map of all the businesses, as well as all of the stories that you can read in print. So be sure to check that out, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
Thank you.